Anyway, here's what we're going to do today, you guys. And this will smack a little bit of what we did in the Crucible, because what I'm going to ask you to do is speak directly to the camera. And whoever is not speaking to watch the screen. And when you are speaking, I'd like you to look down at the script, or if you have it on your screen, look at it on the screen long enough to pick up a line. So it'll go something like this. You knew of his departure, as you know what you have done, as you know what you have undertaken to do in his absence. So if you can only pick up 2 words or 3 words, that's fine, but take them off the page and take them right to the camera. So the person who is listening, this is a way I came up with overcoming some of the drawbacks of doing things on Zoom. So the person who's listening to you can simply listen. And we're not going for pace or anything at all like that. What we're trying to do is get some connection. It's odd because you'll be tempted to look at the person, but even that's
connecting with your camera.
Yeah, well, which is exactly what we did, as you recall, in Crucible, where you were.
I mean, there were faces out there, but you couldn't really look at the faces because you had to keep track of where the theoretical person you were looking at was.
If your eyes drift to the person, to the actual person, that's fine. What I want you not to do, and I will stop you if I see you doing it, is look at the script. Even if you're not quite sure, if the other person has finished speaking, I'd rather have a big old pause while you go, that must be me, and go down and then come back. I do not care at all about pacing. All I want is the opportunity for each of you to listen to the other without looking at the script. I mean, it's clear what I'm saying at this point.
Yeah.
So let's start that, and let's start this scene where we said we would, which is Shannon, your line. Now for conspiracy, I know not how it tastes.
Okay, so we're going back to the original spot, because last week you moved it up to the top of that page.
Yeah.
We're going back.
Well,
I never heard yet is where we started with Leontes.
All right, let's do that then. I'm terrible. That's where we're going to start. We'll start with Leontes. I ne'er yet that any of these bolder vices wanted less impudence to gain. Yeah. See how well you can do this? I will. I don't have to be on this at all. So I'm going to stop my video. I'm going to and mute myself, but I'll come in if I see you drifting away.
Okay.
Start when you feel like it.
All right. I ne'er heard yet that any of these bolder vices wanted less impudence to gainsay what they did than to perform it first.
That's true enough, though 'tis a saying, sir, not due to me.
You will not own it.
More than mistress of which comes to me in name of fault, I must not at all acknowledge. For Polixenes, with whom I am accused, I do confess I loved him in honor as he required, with such a kind of love as might become a lady like me, with a love even such so and no other as yourself commanded, which not to have done, I think, had been in me both disobedience and ingratitude to you and toward your friend, whose love had spoke even since it could speak from an infant freely, that it was yours. Now, for conspiracy, I know not how it tastes, though it be dished, for me to try how. All I know of it is that Camillo was an honest man. And why he left your court, the gods themselves, wotting no more than me, are ignorant.
You knew of his departure, as you know what you have undertaken to do in his absence.
Sir, you speak a language that I understand not. My life stands in the level of your dreams, which I'll lay down.
Your actions are my dreams. You had a bastard by Polixenes, and I but dreamed it. As you were past all shame, those of your fact are so past all truth, which to deny conceives more than avails. For us, thy brat has been cast out, like to itself, no father owning it, which is indeed more criminal in thee than it. So thou shalt feel our justice, in whose easiest passage look for no less than death.
Excellent. I'm going to stop you for a second and just have you go through that again, Chris. It's really good, really good. But just see if you can. I can just see your eyes going down to the next sentence as you come to the end of what you know.
Okay, all right.
You know what I mean? It's really it's tiny. It's a tiny thing,
Nope.
but you guys are doing it so well. I just want to encourage you to get it even sharper. It's really so interesting to hear. Shannon, can you start from "My life stands in the level of your dreams," which I'll lay down just to get him into that. Okay.
Which is, I want to be like, that modifier's in the wrong place, Shakespeare. Because the life is what she'll lay down, not his dreams. But it's okay.
My life stands a little. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, Paul.
Hi, everyone. Sorry.
Hey, welcome.
Turn my video off because I'm not sure where we are. Sorry.
Paul, we're just doing some, we're working on this scene, so just stay joined with us, but we'll get to you in a little bit.
Okay.
My life stands in the level of your dreams, which I'll lay down.
Your actions are my dreams. You had a bastard by Polixenes, and I but dreamed it. As you were past all shame, those of your fact are so past all truth. Thy brat has been cast out, like to itself, no father owning it, which is indeed more criminal in thee than it. So thou shalt feel our justice, in whose easiest passage look for no less than death.
Sir, spare your threats. The bug that you would fright me with, I seek. To me can life be no commodity. The crown and comfort of my life, your favor, I do give lost, for I do feel it gone. But know not how it went. My second joy, the fruits of my body. From his presence I am barred like one infectious. My third comfort, starred most unluckily, is from my breast, the innocent milk in it most innocent mouth, haled out to murder. Myself, on every post proclaimed a strumpet, with immodest hatred. The childbed privilege denied, which longs to women of all fashions. Lastly, hurried to this place in the open air, before I have got strength of limit. Now, my liege, tell me what blessings I have here alive, that I should fear to die. Therefore proceed. Yet hear this. Mistake me not. No life, I prize it not a straw, but for mine honor, which I would free. If I shall be condemned upon surmises, all proofs sleeping else, but what your jealousies awake, I tell you 'tis rigor and not law. Your honors all I do refer me to the oracle. Apollo be my judge.
Uh,
That was the end of that.
yes, that's the end. That was superb. It's exactly what I was looking for. And I hope I'm going to stop talking for a second and let me know what you guys felt or got from it or hated about it or anything. Shannon, because you had it. Let's start with you.
Because I had a strong reaction.
Because you had I mean, you were. It was wonderful. It was moving you. I thought. I mean, I thought I saw a little, some tears coming to your eyes. It was.
Well, this is the tricky thing about me playing Hermione, because I cry so easily.
Do you?
And this woman does not.
Well, she didn't. I mean, you didn't. So that's fine. I can see it because there's a camera on your face. Hi, Paul. Then he's out. It proves my theory that if you get the words right, the emotions will come unbidden often. If you're a good actor, that we'll just sort of take that as read from all you guys. So please say something. Make me stop talking.
It's no, you go ahead.
Okay. I mean, it was instructive in the sense of there were thoughts that I wished I could grab more of, because it did feel like I was cutting something off in the middle, but sometimes that was fine. I was like, there's something about the endings of the lines, even though they come in the middles of sentences so frequently in this set of dialogue, that still it just makes even trying to memorize it does form like a natural ending. And I don't know whether that's just a visual thing, but it's looking at, like, for Polixenes, with whom I am accused, I do confess. It was really hard to try to look down and be like, I do confess I loved him as in honor he required, It was much easier to stop it. I do confess. I loved him as in honor he required. I don't know. So that was, but sometimes you would get through the whole sentence to a more classically natural stopping point rather than the middle of a thought.
I'm not exactly sure about this, but I've always heard that Peter Hall insisted on an end stop for every line. That the end of a line warranted a stop. I think the way you just did that for Polixenes, with whom I'm accused, I do confess I loved him. So if you want to take the tiniest caesur there, the tiniest breath, it doesn't have to run through. That's perfectly reasonable. It doesn't sound wrong. It doesn't sound like you stopped there all of a sudden and then restarted on the next line.
Can I just add that it's precisely that tension that Shakespeare's looking for. It's the end of a line, but not the end of a thought. And you can't ignore either one of them. And so it's like the springing up that you see in the Parthenon, because the base of the Parthenon is a curve. But when you're looking at it, it looks straight, and it's meant to, but it feels alive because it's bowed up. And that's what you're doing. You're balancing these two things, and you go wrong to go to either extreme. But when you know there's that tension there and can articulate it, the verse just springs into life.
So yes, two things can be true at the same time. I mean, what Gideon just said about the place where you go wrong is going to the extreme one way or the other. You can recognize it, you can acknowledge it. It doesn't have to be a frustration on your part. It's an allowance. It's a permission, sort of. So good. That's good. Do you want to say more? Should we go to Chris?
Yeah. Well, what did you want to say, Chris?
In your last speech, where you go, the bug you threatened with, character-wise, Leontes is not listening to you. Even if he's hearing what you're saying, he's not accepting it. He's literally not listening. And in this exercise, which is about listening, so I'm sitting here forcing myself as the actor to listen, which is also forcing Leontes to listen. Realize if he had just listened, he might have he might have backed off a bit. Like it's so convincing and so heartfelt. What kind of becomes a tension for me as an actor of hearing this beautiful speech, beautifully done, but as a character being completely unmoved by it.
Yes.
I find really interesting.
I think that's interesting,
right? It's interesting the way when you listen to somebody who's an ideologue of some kind and preaching to you and trying to change your mind, but you're a polite person and you don't want to directly fight. You listen, but in your mind, you're thinking, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. I'm just waiting for this person to be quiet so I can do what I want to do. And so there's this, again, it's a double tension. There's a tension being paid, but internally the meaning is being resisted. So you're exactly right. It's in that tension that the character lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes to everything, and that's a great observation, Chris. I would think, were we doing this, staging it and all the other stuff, Shakespeare sort of gives you a gift. It's you almost physically have to resist what you're hearing, because you're not deaf. You can hear the words. You're an intelligent person. And as Gideon just said, each thing that you say, for everybody else, each reasonable thing is, as far as you're concerned, just another nail in her coffin. I don't know how. I don't know quite. I mean, I don't think it necessarily benefits us to try to name whatever psychological thing he's suffering from, but it's that thing of you just can't hear the truth anymore. You just
every
world.
Every reasonable argument she has is proof of what a good liar she is.
Exactly, and that you almost literally say it. I mean, you say it at the beginning of the scene.
Mm-hmm.
It's what's I've never heard that any of these bolder vices wanted less impudence to gainsay than to perform it first. So I know you're lying. I know you did it. So it's even easier to lie.
And right? I was having a discussion about jealousy with someone recently, and about how jealousy is a very insecure emotion, and about how jealousy is more about what I, as the jealous person, am going to lose rather than what's being done to me. And it's that fear of loss. Like, if I didn't care about her, I wouldn't be jealous. If I didn't care about her, I wouldn't be afraid that this thing happened. And so there's also that, like, now that I'm talking about this out loud, that the thing where I say before about, is it in the other scene? But like how good you are at saying what's not true.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like I have to psych myself up to not believe, right? Because if she gets me, and then I'm duped again, and I don't want that because it'll hurt too much. Like, now I'm rambling a little bit, but
no, all those things are fine.
I have to not want to believe her.
Yes.
Like, I have to actively disbelieve what she's saying.
Because if you do believe her, you could end up.
I could forgive her.
No, you could end up. I was going to say, you could end up suffering from what he begins the whole jealousy passage with, which is fear of being ridiculed. He's afraid of growing horns on his head. You know the metaphor of horns. The man whose wife is sleeping with someone else grows horns that everyone can see, but he can't. And his whole first speeches are filled with horn imagery. So it's a fear of losing her, but it's also a fear of losing his own reputation, his own standing. And I remind you, he's a king. So there are all those layers of fear that go into this jealousy.
Great stuff, you two. I will just say that going this slow, interestingly, sort of forces you to pick out operative words. Or I didn't make any particular notes. There was one early on, actually. Chris, we had this thing about the brat hath been cast out like to itself, no father owning it, which is indeed more criminal in thee than it. It was great. There was such venom in that, in the way you said that.
In the it, especially.
Yeah, it was just delicious. This pace and this, having to pick up 5 or 8 words at a time is very useful. You both found a particular richness in the language without overworking it, which is always the other trap that nobody on this group seems to be falling into, but often with younger, or not even younger. Some people just they give too much weight to too many words. That Henry IV I was just talking about. Henry was actually played by Joe Morton, who's a lovely actor, a lovely guy, beautiful voice. And just no, I'm not. This is a recorded thing. But there were times I had trouble following his. He has some very knotty speeches, and I had trouble following him because he sometimes didn't pick out the words that we needed to hear. So we were lost in a forest of too many words.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My motto of it is all emphasis is no emphasis.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's absolutely right.
I
Anyway,
just like I just like the metaphor that Armin used in class of skipping a stone over water. That's what the dialogue should be. You're moving to a point, and it's just touching every once in a while to get
very
to
good
the
image.
end. Yeah.
Very, very good. And it was terrific the way that this particular limitation actually allowed that to come out without particular effort. Oops, we lost you for a second, Paul. Can you hear me?
No, he's muted.
I muted myself, but I'm here.
Oh, you're there.
He's still in participants.
Still there. Just to let you know what's going on, I'm asking people to direct everything they say directly to the camera,
Yes, I figured.
and the other person or people in your scene, as it is, only watch the screen. So you'll go to the script to pick up as much of a line as you can. 'Tis true enough, though 'tis a saying, sir, not due to me. That's what I want. So that we're never actually reading it. You end up with this very slow pace, but as you can see, really interesting things happen, and it gives the listener or listeners an opportunity to actually listen. I know everybody here is a very thoughtful actor, and your tendency is, as you hear your cue coming up, is to go to your script so that you can pick up the cue and do all that. We're not interested in any of that stuff right now. Don't need cues picked up. We want to make sure that we've heard and communicated the whole thing. 6. Let's go through this then, unless somebody has something more to add at this point. Let's go to the first scene with all of us, even me, as the laird.
Will you do him with a funny walk?
Pardon?
Funny voice,
Yeah,
at least.
I'll do
Funny
Funny
walk.
walk.
Funny walk.
I'm sitting really funny right now.
That was awesome. Perfect.
So we're going to the top. Is that it?
We're going, to the beginning of where we started on this scene, which is, was he met there? His train, Camilla with him. That line. Is that right? That's where we've been.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I will.
Wait, help me out here. What, according to what you named the sections, which section is this, G-Dubs?
This is
affirming the truth. I got it.
affirming the truth.
Yep.
It's about line 44, 43.
Yep, I'm there.
Okay. Just 1 second. Right. And Paul, even though I am in this, I'm going to really keep my eye on people. If and it's very tempting if you start to drift off to your script, wherever it is on the screen or down here, we'll just start and go back. I mean, we'll just stop and then go back.
Chris
All
is
right.
frozen.
No, I'm good.
Oh. Chris was just dealing with his headache.
Not moving. Poor guy.
It's good. I did, in fact, take something. Shit,
Okay.
was a good one too.
Okay.
Are we all ready?
Yes, go ahead.
Was he met there, his train, Camilla with him?
Behind the tuft of pines, I met them. Never saw I men scour so on their way. I eyed them even to their ships.
How blessed am I in my just censure, in my good opinion? How blessed am I in my just censure, in my true opinion? Alack, for lesser knowledge. How accursed in being so blessed. There may be in the cup a spider steeped, and one may drink, depart, and partake no venom, for his knowledge is not infected. But if one present the abhorred ingredient to his eye, make known how he hath drunk, he cracks his gorge, his sides, with violent hefts. I have drunk and seen the spider. Camillo was his help in this, his pander. There is a plot against my life, my crown. All's true that is mistrusted. That false villain whom I employed was pre-employed by him. He has discovered my designs, and I remain a pinched thing, yea, a very trick, for them to play at will. How came the posterns to be so easily opened?
By his great authority, which often hath prevailed, which often hath no less prevailed than so on your command.
I know it too well. Give me the boy. I'm glad you did not nurse him, though he does bear some signs of me, yet you have too much blood in him.
What is this? Sport?
Bear the boy hence, he shall not come about her. Away with him, and let her sport herself with that she's big with. For 'tis Polixenes has made thee swell thus.
But I'd say he had not. And I'll be sworn you would believe my saying, howe'er you lean to the nayward.
You, my lords, look on her. Mark her well. Be but about to say, she is a goodly lady. And the justice of your hearts will thereto add, 'tis pity she's not honest, honorable. Praise her, but for this her without door doom. Praise her, but for this her without door form, which on my faith deserves high speech. And straight the shrug, the and or ah, these petty brands that calumny doth use. Oh, I am out. That mercy does, for calumny will sear virtue itself. these shrugs, these hms and ha's. When you have said she's goodly, come between ere you can say she's honest. But be it known from him that hath most cause to grieve it, for him that has most cause to grieve it should be, she's an adulteress.
Should a villain say so, the most replenished villain in the world, he were as much more villain. You, my lord, do but mistake.
You have mistook, milady, Polixenes for Leontes. O thou thing, which I'll not call a creature of thy place, lest barbarism, making me the precedent, should a like language use to all degrees, and mannerly distinguishment leave out twixt the prince and beggar. I have said she's an adulteress. I have said with whom? More, she's a traitor. And Camillo is a federary with her, and one that knows what she should shame to know herself, but with her most vile principle, that she's a bed swerver, even as bad as those that vulgars give bold titles. Aye, and privy to this their late escape.
No, by my life. Privy to none of this. How will this grieve you when you shall come to clearer knowledge that you thus have published me? Gentle my lord, you scarce can write me throughly than to say you did mistake.
No, if I mistake in those foundations which I build upon, the center is not big enough to bear a schoolboy's top. Away with her to prison. He who shall speak for her is afar off guilty, but that he speaks.
There's some ill planet reigns. I must be patient till the heavens look with an aspect more favorable. Good my lords, I am not prone to weeping, as our sex commonly are, the want of which vain dew perchance shall dry your pities. But I have that honorable grief lodged here, which burns worse than tears drown. Beseech you all, my lords, with thoughts so qualified as your charities shall best instruct you, measure me. And so the king's will be performed.
Shall I be heard?
Who is that goes with me? Beseech your highness. My women may be with me, for you see my plight requires it. Do not weep, good fools. There is no cause. When you shall know your mistress has deserved prison, then abound in tears as I come out. This action I go on now is for my better grace. Adieu, my lord. I never wished to see you sorry. Now I trust I shall. My women come. You have leave.
Go, do our bidding. Hence.
Beseech your highness, call the queen again.
Be certain what you do, sir, lest your justice prove violence, in the which 3 great ones suffer: yourself, your queen, your son.
For her, my lord, I dare my life lay down. And will do't, sir. Please you to accept it, that the queen is spotless in the eyes of heaven and to you. I mean, in this which you accuse her.
If it prove she's otherwise, I'll keep my stables where I lodge my wife. I'll go in couples with her. Then when I feel and see her, no farther trust her. For every inch of woman in the world, aye, every dram of woman's flesh is false, if she be.
Good, good. I'm just going to stop you for a second. It's very good, Paul. You're doing what actually Chris did earlier, which is towards the end of the sentence, your eyes are going down to pick up the next one. See, let's just do this speech again.
Okay,
And really see if you can not look down until you've finished speaking
got it.
on each sentence. Very good, though. Very good
Okay.
start.
If it prove,
Yes.
if it prove she's otherwise, I'll keep my stables where I lodge my wife. I'll go in couples with her. Then when I feel and see her, no farther trust her. For every inch of woman in the world, aye, every dram of woman's flesh is false, if she be.
Hold your pieces.
Good, my lord.
It is for you we speak, not for ourselves. You are abused, and by some put her on, that will be damned for it. Would I knew the villain, I would land damn him. Be she honor flawed? I have 3 daughters. The eldest is 11. The second and the third, 9 and some 5. If this prove true, they'll pay for it. By mine honor, I'll geld them all. 14 they shall not see, to bring false generations. They are co-heirs. And I had rather glib myself than they should not produce fair issue.
Cease no more. You smell this business with a sense as cold as a dead man's nose. But I do see it and feel it, as you feel doing thus, and see with all the instrument that feel.
If it be so, we need no grave to bury honesty. There's not a grain of it, the face to sweeten, of the whole dungy earth.
What? Lack I credit?
I had rather you did lack than I, my lord, upon this ground. And more it would content me to have her honor true than your suspicion, be blamed for it how you might.
Why, what need we commune with you of this? But rather follow our forceful instigation. Our prerogative calls not your counsels, but our natural goodness imparts this, which if you were stupefied or seeming so in skill cannot or will not relish your truth like us, inform yourselves. We need no more of your advice. The matter, the loss, the gain. Sorry, I lost power here for a second. The matter, the loss, the gain, the ordering on it, it's all properly ours.
And I wish, my liege, you had only in your silent judgment tried it, without more overture.
How could this be? Either thou art more ignorant with age, or thou wert born a fool. Camilla's flight added to their familiarity, which was as gross as ever touched conjecture, that lacked sight only, not for approbation, but only seeing all other circumstances made up to the deed, doth push us on this proceeding. Yet for a greater confirmation, or in an act of this importance, 'twere more piteous to be wild. I have dispatched in post to sacred Delphus, to Apollo's temple, Cleomenes and Dion, whom you know of stuffed sufficiency. Now from the oracle they will bring all whose spiritual counsel shall stop or spur me. Have I done well?
Well done, my lord.
Though I am satisfied and need no more than what I know, yet shall the oracle give rest to the minds of others, such as he, whose ignorant credulity will not come up to the truth. So have we thought it good from our free person, she should be confined. lest that the treachery of these two fled hence be left her to perform. Come, follow us. We are to speak in public. For this business will raise us all.
The laughter, as I take it. If the good truth were known.
Once again, just so interesting to hear this. To hear this way. I know it's very difficult, and I salute you for being willing to try it. Paul, do you have any thoughts or feelings or discoveries or anything you want to say? Let's start with you.
It's remarkably clear doing it this way. Yeah, and it's a little frustrating, but only because of the habits that we have formed and the conventions that we're used to. But it's remarkably clear. The ideas are so much clearer because we're not worried about trying to pick up the next line or observing the meter or the rhythm or anything like that. We're just looking at each other and saying what we mean.
Good. I'm good. I'm so glad you feel that way. I mean, it is clearly, an exercise.
Yeah.
But as with something we'll try later, which is to go through it pretty much as quickly as one can. The remnants of it hang on into your actual performance because it's useful, and as you observe it, it really does make things tremendously clear.
And then the other side of it, which is a completely different angle from which to look at it, is the frustration of having to wait to get the line and look back up adds to Antigonus's frustration of trying to get my ideas through to this blockhead that I'm talking to.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting.
Well, and the breaking up of Leontes' lines, because it makes it even harder for Hermione to be like, what? Wait, what? Like, this little piece, where is this going? What is this? What I think it is? Yeah. Sewing it together becomes such a agonizing process.
Great. And yes, and that's the other side of this, is that you have to listen rather than trying to get ready for what you're saying next.
Right. It removes one of the distractions that we have in our lives and on the screen, and that is the script. We're not looking down at the script. So I'm not listening to Chris talk and looking at the script to hear what he's saying. I'm listening to Chris talk.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing what he's saying because I have to listen to what he's saying.
Yeah. It's great. It's when I'm doing work with people and I'm encouraging to pick up their cues and to move along. We always talk about the fact that in normal human conversation, you're only half listening because you're getting ready to respond. So as soon as that person just stops flapping their goddamn jaw, you can come back with this wonderful thing you've thought of, or this great rejoinder. But so we often don't listen as carefully as you're forced to here. So this is it's a terrific exercise. Anybody else want to chime in with anything?
I've got a couple of verbal specific things, which I know aren't based on actually acting the part, but which I heard and might point out if you want me to.
Sure. Good. Sure. With the understanding that we were doing a
yes. No, I understand that.
Cool.
Leontes, line 76. With that, she's big with. The that means that which. So it has to be not so swallowed, but, give us some weight on that.
Did you say 76, Gideon?
Yeah, line 76.
Are we in the same script line numbers?
Um,
The
I don't know.
line is, he shall not come about her, away with him, and let her sport herself with that she's big with.
Sorry, I had to scroll down into the next scene. My bad. Sorry.
It's okay.
Line 104, Leontes. You hit thy a little bit instead of place, and it's her place, meaning her rank, that you're concerned with, as opposed to her rank versus someone else's. So I would hit place more than thy. Always understanding that you were, interrupting yourself to concentrate on something else. Line 121, Hermione. I've said this before, but I still need more on the word then. You scarce can write me throughly then, when you come to clearer knowledge, to say you did mistake. When you come to clearer knowledge, to say you did mistake won't be enough.
Mm-hmm.
You with me? So
that's a line that's always kind of to me as well. And I noticed in a different edition that there is a comma, then is set off by commas, if that helps at all.
Yeah, the printer does that in order to make the point I'm trying to make here.
Yeah.
Shannon, do you get what I mean? I don't want to labor it too much, but I just want you to.
I think the comma idea helps, because then the sentence is, gentle my lord, you scarce can write me throughly to say you did mistake, which makes total sense to me.
Yeah. So the then is the antithesis of line 119, when. Right? How will this grieve you? When you shall come to clearer knowledge, then you won't be able to write me. You got what I'm saying? So if you think of the word then as an antithesis, that'll help.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Line 134, I just want to hear the T in pities. Makes it more pitiful. Line 164, this is Antigonus. I want to hear that in than rather than then. We tend to make those two words sound the same thing. But to make the point here, it's got to be the longer sound, than.
Than when I feel and see.
Than when I feel her no farther. So no farther than.
Right.
Yes. So
then when I feel and see her, no farther trust her.
Again?
Than when I feel and see her, no farther trust her.
That's it. That's good. Okay. 216. Who's that? Leontes. You said doth push us on. You were just.
That's just
remembering it precisely. I know. It's push on this proceeding rather than push us on. I just didn't want you to learn it the wrong way. 233. Leontes. What do I mean? From our free person, she should be. Oh, I just wanted to point out in this speech, Chris, that you start with I am satisfied, I know, but the oracle is going to give rest to the minds of others, and then you go to the plural, the royal plural. We thought, our free person, right? Follow us. We are to speak in public. Raise us all. So you're going from the personal, I personally am satisfied, to the more public proclamation, speaking as the king, the royal plural of the king. I just wanted you to note that and see if it'll help you at all. If anybody's interested in why the kings use the plural, I can have a disquisition, but I won't go into it if you already know it.
Let me just say a few things real quick, because these are all things that I thought were particularly good. Leontes, that break between how accursed and being so blessed. There may be in the cup a spider steeped. You found a terrific new energy. It was great. It's like the idea came to you just then. Really good.
Yes, good.
Exactly the kind of thing we're looking for. In this speech, praise her, but for this, her without door form, which on my faith deserves high speech. The way you set that off parenthetically was terrific. Just encouraging all these good things. Is that your line? Leontes again. That vulgars give bold titles. You slowed down there so much, it was great. You got all that, you got all those sounds, all that sound imagery. It sounds like stabbing. It sounds like pointed things. Great stuff. And that's what slowing down so much helps. Hermione, this is more for sort of the next time through. It's just an idea that this line, after shall I be heard, who is that goes with me? I think I wouldn't mind if it were a little more impatient, a little more, and in which case it, I don't know, find the regal daughter of the Emperor of Russia in there. Well, who's fucking coming with me?
Yeah. She also, I mean, she technically asks him for her women to come beseech your highness, but by the end of it, he's not given his approval, and she's like, "Come, you have leave. You're going with me."
Exactly. Exactly. So really inhabit your, princesses and queens don't ask for things; they tell people.
She's also, for the first time, ignoring his madness, because his last line is "Shall I be heard?" She doesn't respond to that.
No. Okay.
So I'm not dealing with that anymore. You can't be talked to.
You're over there. Okay, so what's all right? If we're gonna do this, what's the deal? How many people do I get with me?
Yeah,
I'm a queen, right? I don't know if this is from before. When you shall know your mistress has deserved prison, then abound in tears. Just make sure we get the then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was better this time than last time. So you're working toward it, but I agree.
Antigonus.
Sure.
Around here.
What line?
170. It is for you we speak, not for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You were abused. It's all very good. It's very good. Let's just take that as read. What I'm thinking, again, this is for a sort of next time through. If you can find in Antigonus can't be as reasonable as Hermione is, right? And Antigonus is, I think if you can, as you work on him, if you can find something more emphatic, I wrote more emphatic, more disturbed. And I partly get this from the imagery he's using, which is incredibly graphic and, kind of out there. His reasoning, what he's saying is not he doesn't make reasonable points the way Hermione does. He's talking about there's not a dram of a woman anywhere worth to sweeten the earth. If this is true, I'll mutilate my daughters. I'll disown them, which is a terrible thing. These are terrible, extremely visceral images. So as we go through it, I think and also, he's a person of the court. This is really wrong. This is not the way society works. And when the time is out of joint, that's not a good thing. Someone has to set it right, right? if the king is behaving this way, everybody, everything is wrong. So you're an older guy. I think he's not a reasonable older guy. I think he's an older guy who gets excited about things, right?
Can I just add to what you're saying, that
Sure.
He's also observing that Leontes is not responding to the reasonableness of Hermione. And that pushes him further into a passion, because he's heard everything she said and he's going, yeah, I mean, it's obvious. Why aren't you getting that? And he's not getting it. And so then, he's driven to go further, I would say.
Yeah, good. Pushed into a passion that he's, yeah. Just something to think about as we go through this again. Right, where are we? We're about an hour in. Let's just take a moment, a little. Where am I? What's the actual time?
6:46.
Great.
Or 9:46, depending on where you are.
Or 9:46.
Let's just take like 3 minutes to kind of walk around, stretch ourselves, shake your shoulders out, get a drink of water if you need, and then we're going to go through both of these again at a sort of normal pace, and see what we've picked up. I think on our next and final meeting, I might try what's called an Italian rehearsal. It's to go through it really quickly, but let's just take a moment. What time did we say it was? 6:47. Just like 3 minutes, five minutes. Come back at 6:52. All right.
Okay.
See you in a second. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Geoffrey, you probably already explained this to everyone, but how is your tooth?
Oh, thank you. It's fine. Thank you. It was weird. It's the bicuspid, back there, and it has a gold inlay in it from probably from when I was a teenager, and the but that's not what came out. The sort of inside of the tooth just broke off.
Hmm.
I wasn't even eating anything dramatic, like caramel corn or you know or a carrot or meat or something. It just came out. So it ended up not being as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought he was going to have to drill and stuff, but he used some modern thing that he just built up the inside of the tooth because the gold thing is still good.
Hmm.
I thought I was going to be novocained up, but it wasn't a particularly painful. They use a thing now. They use like an ultraviolet light to cure the
Yes.
whatever the stuff is. There's Amelia. And at one point I was there, my mouth open, and this stuff, and he was sort of adjusting this thing. It's a little, looks like a big pen or something, and he's adjusting the light, and then he put it in there. I said, I asked him if he was familiar with Men in Black. Men in Black, where they have that thing that makes you forget what's just happened. I think all dentists should have one of those. So you go through the whole procedure, and then they just make you forget.
And they just zap you.
They just zap you.
Hmm.
Great. So let's do this all again at normal speed, whatever that means. And there won't be this obligation to to look. Try to pick up your cues, but also try to stay. I'm not going to care if you don't pick up the cues. So try to stay with the other person as long as you can and really hear what she or he is saying. There was some stuff I was looking at in preparing for today, and that was particularly when we get to once Hermione is responding, but I'd say he had not from then on. There are very distinct places where people are either speaking to each other or to the public, and just be aware of those. You probably have them already in mind. I'm going to just sort of keep an eye out for that as we go through this time. And that's it. Let's just see what we have.
Are we doing the first scene?
We're doing
with
the
all
first
three
scene
of us?
first. Yeah, all three of you, and then we'll go on to your scene again, the end thing, and I just want to encourage all of you to continue to go further. Nobody, I'm not watching anybody and going, "Oh, that's a bit much." Everybody, you're all going the right direction. I'd say embrace it fully now. Hermione's sort of baffled, not knowing where she is a lot of the time, trying to figure things out. Chris, his being all over the place. You can go further with that. And Paul, the stuff we were just talking about, and Antigonus's his desperation, the passion, I think is what Gideon said, the passion that he's employing to try to snap Leontes out of whatever is going on with him. So go as far as you want. Yeah, let's start again.
All right. Was he met there? His train, Camillo with him?
Behind the tuft of pines, I met them. Never saw I men scour so on their way. I eyed them even to their ships.
How blessed am I. In my just censure, in my true opinion, I lack for lesser knowledge. I were cursed in being so blessed. There may be in the cup a spider steeped, and one may drink, depart, and yet partake no venom. For his knowledge is not infected, but if one present the abhorred ingredient to his eye, make known how he hath drunk, he cracks his gorge, his sides with violent hefts. I have drunk and seen the spider. Camillo was his help in this, his pander. There is a plot against my life, my crown. All's true that is mistrusted. That false villain whom I employed was pre-employed by him. He has discovered my design, and I remain a pinched thing, yea, a very trick for them to play at will. How came the posterns to be open?
By his great authority, which often hath no less prevailed than so on your command.
I know it too well. Give me the boy. I'm glad you did not nurse him, though he does bear some signs of me, yet you have too much blood in him.
What is this? Sport?
Bear the boy hence. He shall not come about her. Away with him, and let her sport herself with that she's big with, for 'tis Polixenes has made thee swell thus.
But I'd say he had not. And I'll be sworn you would believe my saying, howe'er you lean to the nayward.
You, my lords, look on her. Mark her well. Be but about to say she's a goodly lady, and the justice of your hearts will thereto add, 'tis pity she's not honest, honorable. Praise her but for this, her outward door form, which on my faith deserves high speech. And straight the shrug, or ha, these petty brands that calumny doth use. No, I am out. That mercy does, for calumny will sear virtue itself. These shrugs, these hms and ha's, when you have said she's goodly, come between ere you can say she's honest. But be it known from him that has most cause to grieve it should be, she's an adulteress.
Should a villain say so? The most replenished villain in the world, he were as much more villain. You, my lord, do but mistake.
You have mistook, milady, Polixenes for Leontes. O thou thing, which I'll not call a creature of thy place, lest barbarism, making me the precedent, should a like language use to all degrees, and mannerly distinguishment leave out betwixt the prince and beggar. I have said she's an adulteress. I have said with whom. More, she's a traitor. And Camillo is a federary with her, and one that knows what she would shame to know herself, but with her most vile principle, that she's a bed swerver, even as bad as those that vulgars give bold titles. I am privy to this their late escape.
No, by my life, privy to none of this. How this will grieve you when you shall come to clearer knowledge that you thus have published me. Gentle my lord, you scarce can write me throughly than to say you did mistake.
No. If I mistake in these foundations which I build upon, the center is not big enough to bear a schoolboy's top. Away with her to prison. He who shall speak for her is afar off guilty, but that he speaks.
There's some ill plan it reigns. I must be patient till the heavens look with an aspect more favorable. Good my lords, I am not prone to weeping, as our sex commonly are, the want of which vain dew perchance shall dry your pities. But I have that honorable grief lodged here which burns worse than tears drown. Beseech you all, my lords, with thoughts so qualified as your charities shall best instruct you, measure me. And so the king's will be performed.
Shall I be heard?
Who is that goes with me? Beseech your highness, my women may be with me, for you see my plight requires it. No, do not weep, good fools, there is no cause. When you shall know your mistress has deserved prison, then abound in tears as I come out. This action I now go on is for my better grace. Adieu, my lord. I never wished to see you sorry. Now I trust I shall. My women, come. You have leave.
Go. Do our bidding. Hence.
Beseech your highness, call the queen again.
Be certain what you do, sir, lest your justice proves violence, in the which 3 great ones suffer, yourself, your queen, your son.
For her, my lord, I dare my life lay down, and will do't, sir, please you to accept it, that the queen is spotless in the eyes of heaven. And to you, I mean, in this which you accuse her.
If it proves she's otherwise, I'll keep my stables where I lodge my wife. I'll go in couples with her, than when I feel and see her no farther trust her. For every inch of woman in the world, every dram of woman's flesh is false, if she be.
Hold your pieces.
Good my lord.
It is for you we speak, not for ourselves. You are abused, and by some putter on that will be damned for it. Would I knew the villain, I would land damn him. Be she honor flawed, I have 3 daughters. The eldest is 11, the second and the third 9 and some 5. If this prove true, they'll pay for it. By mine honor, I'll geld them all. 14 they shall not see to bring false generations. They are co-heirs, and I had rather glib myself than they should not produce fair issue.
Cease! No more. You smell this business with a sense as cold as a dead man's nose. But I do see it and feel it, as you feel doing thus and see with all the instrument that feel.
If it be so, we need no grave to bury honesty. There's not a grain of it, the face to sweeten of the whole dungy earth.
What lack I credit?
I had rather you did lack than I, my lord, upon this ground. And more it would content me to have her honor true than your suspicion. Be blamed for it how you might.
Why, what need we commune with you of this, but rather follow our forceful instigation? Our prerogative calls not your counsels, but our natural goodness imparts this, which if you, or stupefied or seeming so in skill, cannot or will not relish a truth like us, inform yourselves we need no more of your advice. The matter, the loss, the gain, the ordering on't is all properly ours.
And I wish, my liege, you had only in your silent judgment tried it, without more overture.
How could that be? Either thou art more ignorant by age, or thou wert born a fool. Camillo's flight, added to their familiarity, which was as gross as ever touched conjecture, that lacked sight only, not for approbation, but only seeing all other circumstances made up to the deed, doth push on this proceeding. Yet for a greater confirmation, for in an act of this importance 'twere most piteous to be wild, I have dispatched in post to sacred Delphos, to Apollo's temple, Cleomenes and Dion, whom you know of stuffed sufficiency. Now from the oracle they will bring all who spiritual counsel had shall stop or spur me. Have I done well?
You're muted, Geoffrey.
Muted. I'm sorry. Well done, my lord. Well done, my lord.
Then I am satisfied and need no more than what I know. Yet shall the oracle give rest to the minds of others, such as he whose ignorant credulity will not come up to the truth. So have we thought it good from our free person she should be confined, lest that the treachery of the two fled hence be left her to perform. Come, follow us, we are to speak in public, for this business will raise us all.
To laughter, as I take it. If the good truth were known.
Well, that was terrific. Just wonderful. I've got just a couple of really little quick things. A few notes I took mostly at the beginning because I got sort of into it. Chris.
Yeah.
Most all these things are just reinforcement of good things you're doing. Early on, you say cursed at some point.
How accursed in being so blessed?
I guess that was it. Yes. Yeah, it was terrific. That was good. I have drunk the way that I don't know, the way that was going on. The imagery was just fantastic. I just wrote these words down. They were all good things. Oh, pander is an interesting word to use. Because it has the sexual connotation, which I think you. I don't know. I heard you really use that word. He was a pander. I mean, you could have said helper or federary, the way you say later. And pander is just an interesting word to use, which you got. Now, onto this this bit about what she sports herself with. It's almost there. Can you think of it as thing as being understood? So it's where is this line?
Bear the boy hence, he shall not come about her, away with him, and let her sport herself with that she's big with.
Yes.
Yeah, you hit the that this time. It was good.
It was good. Even
it would be, if we were staging this, it would be a lot easier because that is right there. Not that we should always be pointing at the thing in Shakespeare, but like it kind of.
But that's exactly how far you can go. What you just did with that, she's big with. Maybe it just needs that little space around it, or in quotes.
I like that. I like that with kind of the same. There are a couple of times like pander. Like I need the right word, and the right word here is
that.
It's
yes,
that
exactly. Oh God. Do you say mercy does at some point? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's his self-interruption. Yeah. Line
yeah.
92.
That mercy.
Yes. Oh, I'm out. That mercy. Yeah. You just need to lift mercy a little more. Calumny doesn't do that. Mercy does that. For calumny, will burn out.
God,
Believe me, everyone, these are very small things because I thought that was really a terrific way through. I hope you felt the same.
Me too, I did.
I would just like on, he'll be guilty in just so much that he speaks. Where was that line?
It is, if I mistake in those foundations which I build upon the schoolboy's top, away with her to prison. He who shall speak for her is afar off, guilty, but that he speaks. I put an unintentional pause between guilty but that he speaks.
That's fine. All I want you to do is lift the word speaks. Just a little bit more. If he speaks,
Okay. Yeah.
he's guilty just for fucking talking about it, right? Just that he speaks. That's all. Just lift it. Does that make sense? You look puzzled.
No, it's a funny. It's a funny way to put this. It seems to me that because I'm saying whoever would defend her is not guilty of anything except that he's defending her.
No.
No.
He's
Okay,
guilty.
okay, then I have the sense of this line wrong.
Yeah.
Slightly, yeah. What you're saying is, if you, I don't have the right in front of you, but you're saying if you defend her, you're as guilty as she is just for defending her.
Right.
Not talking about making a reasonable argument here. If you're on her side, you're against me. Or you even question me, you're against me. Right?
Chris, I think the problem is with the word but. It
I
means
think so
only.
too. It's but as ands or
No, only. It means only.
Only.
In the fact that she speaks, he's
yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
That always gets me.
The but meaning only.
Shakespeare's butt.
Yeah.
All right.
got a couple of other people too.
Let's move quickly through because I do want to get to the other one. So I'm not. But that he speaks. Oh, and just one other one, Chris.
Yes.
And again, this is just me, but I think it's the word is born a fool. Either you're too old or you were born stupid, right? He says you're stupid, and either it's because you're old or because you were born that way. Just lift that.
Yeah. Paul
and Shannone, terrific. You really took that note about just embracing it and going further. Shannone, there's your first line, whatever your first line is.
What is this sport?
It was actually that too, but more the one. But I'd say he'd not, and I'll be sworn you would believe my saying, how are you lean to the nayward? There was a question sort of throughout the line. What? It was great. It was great. And Paul, same with you. The passion you were finding in him was right there. That's your baseline now, right?
Okay, so that's not too much anger?
No.
I felt there was too much anger.
No, it was good.
It's not anger. It's not reading as anger. It's reading as a need to save him. You're not mad at him. You're trying to save him. Let's put it that way. I always shy away from using anger as a thing. It's crucial that you save him. It's crucial because you like him as a man. It's crucial for the state.
It's crucial for me.
It's crucial for you. I mean, if the state falls, you fall. It's a really, really big deal. You're not stepping into a little spat between a couple who's fighting at a cocktail party. This is the world. So the passion that you're bringing to it is great. The need. So think of it as need, not that you're angry at him. It's that you have to bring him around.
I need my pension, bro.
That's it. But so what you're doing was great. Now I think we got where am I? What the?
I want 1 minute to do 5 very quick notes. One's
okay,
for you.
1 minute. Go.
Okay, line 67, Geoffrey.
Oh, yes.
You hit your, and I want you to do more on command. Your command.
Yes.
Not just your. Chris, polixenes, not poloxenes.
Yeah. I'll probably learn that.
Shannone, I have the one note is on 121. I want more on that then. Still, I'm not hearing it.
I guess I tried emphasizing it for a while when I was doing this on my own, and it started to sound like than when I hit it. It sounds like a comparison that I'm setting up, and it's not.
So all I have to say is, if you have in mind that that the antithesis is with when 2 lines earlier, just keep that when in mind. Then you go to then. It's going to be clear. You don't need to overstress it. I don't mean that. I just need to hear it as meaning that. line 210, I only have a few seconds. Leontes, you said either thou art more ignorant, but it's most ignorant. And line 224, Leontes, whose spiritual counsel had, more on had, because it means once we have their spiritual counsel, once their spiritual counsel has been delivered, that shall stop or spur me. He's lying, by the way, or he's wrong, because they will have their counsel and it won't stop. It'll only spur him, and that's the disaster. Any case, I just need to hear that had.
Yeah. Understood.
Once possessed, once in our possession. Yeah. Okay, good. That's it. Good work, you guys. Really, just really good.
It's so good. All right, let's go through this scene, Act 3, Scene 2, and just keep doing what y'all are doing.
All right, ready, Shannon?
Ready.
I ne'er heard yet that any of these bolder vices wanted less impudence to gainsay what they did than to perform it first.
That's true enough, though 'tis a saying, sir, not due to me.
You will not own it.
More than mistress of which comes to me in name of fault, I must not at all acknowledge. For Polixenes, with whom I am accused, I do confess, I loved him as in honor he required, with such a kind of love as might become a lady like me, with a love even such, so and no other as yourself commanded, which not to have done, I think had been in me both disobedience and ingratitude to you and toward your friend whose love had spoke, even since it could speak from an infant, freely, that it was yours. Now for conspiracy, I know not how it tastes, though it be dished for me to try how. All I know of it is that Camillo was an honest man, and why he left your court, the gods themselves, wotting no more than I, are ignorant.
You knew of his departure, as you know what you have undertaken to do in his absence.
Sir, you speak a language that I understand not. My life stands in the level of your dreams, which I'll lay down.
Your actions are my dreams. You had a bastard by Polixenes, and I but dreamed it. As you were all past all shame, those of your fact are so past all truth, which to deny concerns more than avails. For us, thy brat hath been cast out, like to itself, no father owning it, which is indeed more criminal in thee than it. So thou shalt feel our justice, in whose easiest passage look for no more than death.
Sir, spare your threats. The bug which you would fright me with, I seek. To me can life be no commodity? The crown and comfort of my life, your favor, I do give lost, for I do feel it gone, but know not how it went. My second joy, the first fruits of my body, from his presence I am barred like one infectious. My third comfort, stirred most unluckily, is from my breast, the innocent mouth, milk in its most innocent mouth, hailed out to murder. Myself on every post proclaimed a strumpet, with immodest hatred the childbed privilege denied, which longs to women of all fashion. Lastly, hurried here to this place, the open air, before I have got strength of limit. Now, my liege, tell me what blessings I have here alive that I should fear to die. Therefore proceed. But yet hear this. Mistake me not, no life, I prize it not a straw, but for mine honor, which I would free. If I shall be condemned upon surmises, all proof sleeping else but what your jealousies awake, I tell you 'tis rigor, and not law. Your honors all, I do refer me to the oracle. Apollo be my judge.
Super, guys. I hope you're having as much fun as I am with this.
Wonderful.
It's just, it gets so much richer and richer. Good. So we got about 9 minutes.
Can I do my 4 and I'll then be
Sure.
quiet?
You do your 4 and then I'll.
3, Gideon. Look for no less than death.
Yes, okay, good. That's one of them. Bravo. I only have 3 then. Line 70. Hermione, with such a kind of love as might become a lady like me, become meaning be fitting to, be appropriate, like that dress becomes you. Yes?
Yes.
I'm just not getting that meaning out of it.
Okay.
Line 78. I think there's an antithesis. I know not how it tastes, though it be dished for me to try how. So taste and try. Try meaning prove it, in experience. And the last one is 86. I just want to make sure that you know that level means aim, like the object of aim. You're leveling the arrow at the center of the target, meaning you're aiming for the center of the target. So my life is the bullseye of your dreams. Yes?
Mhm.
Okay, that's it. Really good work.
Yeah, it's just super. What did I write down? Chris, this is a bit of a fielder's choice, but I think your line 80, what is this, 7? Your actions are my dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can really leap on action and throw away dreams. My life stands on the level of your dreams. Your actions are my dream. It's a real thing. That's all. I have, again, you look at different editions, you see different things. At least one I've looked at says, you had a bastard by Polixenes and I but dreamed it. The editor in that case has put a question mark after it. You can make it into a question as far as I'm concerned, or whatever you want, but it has to be dripping with sarcasm or mockery or whatever word you want to use.
Can I throw something at you?
Yeah.
Backing up a line, your actions are my dreams. I see that the punctuation is a period, but that is almost a question to me. My life is the level of your dreams, like, oh, the shit you're doing is my dream. I'm dreaming that.
So you'd have to do both of them as questions, one topping the other.
Sure.
Yeah, try that. I'll give it to you to try.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, you'll have to prove it to him because I think it's a comeback from her. You're correcting her. It's not a question.
He's not. To make it a question means he's crediting her statement enough to ask, you really mean that? And I don't think it's that. But I agree with Geoffrey. I think you should try it and see what it feels like, and then try it the other way and see what that feels like.
I don't think. I mean, if I do it as a question, it's not a. Excuse me. It's not an honest question. It's a sarcastic.
Sarcastic. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, really?
We're great. We're on the same page. Let's see what you come up with. It was just a little, considering how strong it's getting, it was a little wishy-washy that time. Shannon, it's all really nice. I want to sort of give you an actorly thing to think about here, which is to make sure you stay on your voice. Sometimes when you get worked up, your voice, you vocally tend to get into a higher register, and I think, and this is completely technical, but the more Hermione sort of hooks into her gut, this gut that is literally aching right now, right? That strength of limit thing that she talks about. And, she's weak. And the place where she's weak, it's not that her legs or her body strength. It's literally her self, her womanhood, right? That's where she's having to dredge it up. And that's an image for you. The result I want you to have is to stay in that slightly lower register. Don't let it get away from you, right?
Mm-hmm.
The way you did right there, that's the voice I want to continue to hear. And it also helps, particularly in this part, it helps ground you rather than sort of rise to him like, I don't know what the hell is wrong with you. It's okay, this is what we're going to do. You're treating me like a strumpet. You know what I'm saying. I'm not going to talk anymore. I overtalk these things. So we got 3 minutes left. Do either of you want to have anything you want to say about that scene in particular? Thoughts or problems or anything? Yes? No?
The explanations I looked up for this first line, and I don't have them written down right now, but none of them quite made it make sense to me still, of Hermione's line on 63, 64. More than mistress of which comes to me in name of fault, I must not at all acknowledge.
Let me try.
Okay.
I must not acknowledge being mistress of anything that is not an actual fault that I've committed. I'm not going to admit to something that I didn't do. So, of which, more than mistress of that which comes to me as an actual fault, I must not acknowledge.
Okay.
I would acknowledge it if I had any fault, any degree of fault. I'd be willing to acknowledge, but I'm not willing to acknowledge any more than I've actually done. And you're accusing me of things that I haven't done. Does that help?
Yeah, it's the comes to me. It makes it feel like it's about the accusation, but it's what she's saying is, which is actually more, I'm not acknowledging anything that's more than actually real.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comes to me, it's like I deserve. It can mean I deserve. So he got what was coming to him. You know that phrase?
Mm-hmm.
It's coming to in that sense. I don't more than mistress of what I deserve to be accused of, I'm not going to admit.
Are you still with us? Oh.
Yeah, like I think I froze for a second.
Yeah, it looked like you'd fallen asleep briefly. I don't blame you. Yeah, it's all that, and it's a bit of the same impulse that when she says to her women, "You can weep for me when I've actually done something."
Yeah,
it's the same sort of thing. I haven't done anything. I'll admit to anything I've done wrong, but I haven't done anything wrong.
And that's an introduction to what she then goes on to say. She goes on to list all the things she's accused of and deny them one by one. So I'll admit to anything I really did, but for this, and this, I didn't do it.
Yeah, she's got a list of 3 there and a list of 6 in the other speech at the end, which you're getting nicely, but just be aware that it's not just 3. It's got to get to that 6th one.
Yeah.
Dragged out here. I can hardly stand it. Another great day of work. But we're going to stop now, obviously. If anybody has any questions, call or text. I know call. It's such a boomer thing to do. Call or text or just get in touch.
On the phone?
Or Gideon, and Next time I think Nathan invites some people to come along. There may be, 5 or 6 or however many, who knows? But it'll be another work session, and we will do an Italian, a very quick thing, so that we get just a chance to explore this in as many ways as possible. But I must say, it's just wonderful watching and listening to you guys work.
Agreed.
To hear a play
It was a lot of fun.
Good.
Yeah.
Feel better, Chris?
Thank
Good
you.
to see you, Paul.
Thank you, GW.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Oh, and
everybody.
Have a
happy
good
New
night.
Year. I know it's a bit late, but happy sweet New Year to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye, Chris.
See you next week, guys.
Bye, Shannon. Bye, Gideon.
Bye.
Bye.